The Force has given us a vision, like the one we shared on Tatooine. Did you see it? Of course. You must have. The Force is strong with us both. Tatooine is known for little but blowing sand. I find it surprising that there would be a star map somewhere in its desolate wastes. Perhaps, though that would have been tens of thousands of years in the past. Now there's nothing but the howling emptiness of the Dune Sea. The star map would likely have to be within some kind of shelter to protect it against dust and sandstorms. I suspect there are many such caves and caverns hidden in the sands of the Dune Sea. The creatures of this world probably use them as their lairs. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Welcome to Anchorhead, potential customer. Zerka Corporation stands ready to serve, after some formalities, of course. First, your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today. There is a docking fee of 100 credits because of this. Zerka Corporation maintains this docking station at great expense. It is within our rights to refuse landing permission. And I warn you, we've had troublemakers before. The bay is lined with autoguns. Violence is not a survivable option. I assure you that the fee is non-negotiable. We have a very thin margin of profit on this world. You know, I don't think you need to pay the fee. We'll let it go this time.
Well, that was easy. Sure wish I had special mind-affecting force powers.
This will cover any future landings as well. It's like a registration, so we can serve you better when you return. Now, as a customs officer, I can provide information on services. Is this visit business or pleasure? It depends on what level of risk you want to take. You could ask at the Zerka office if any bounties need collecting. That's in Central Anchorhead. While you're at the office, ask for a hunting license so you can sell trophies to Faza in his lodge, just north of them. I suppose you could also take up swoop racing. Talk to the hut at the registration office by the track. That's in West Anchorhead. I can't say I know which of these jobs is the most dangerous. I stay away from all of them. There isn't much to tell. It's a very old planet, well past its prime. Zerka Corporation is the only company with any interest in it. It's not a very pretty world, but there is opportunity here if you know where to look. I can't really get into that. It hasn't been a very smooth operation. I shouldn't get into it. It's common knowledge, so there's no harm in telling you. It's a tale of bad business. You see, Zerka Corporation staked their claim to this planet based on some very promising geological surveys. Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, and possibly even an attempt at sabotage by a rival company. Not totally barren. There were a few good years of mining, and limited operations are still in place. But the ore is flawed. It has peculiar properties. They've had to look at other forms of business. Zerka Corporation has really tried to hide this, but it just seems that Tatooine metal is unfit for effective manufacturing. I would imagine that this outpost will eventually be abandoned. Nobody is making any money here. Of course, this rock may have been settled a few times, so look for some other company to get stuck with it. Very little. There are hints that it might once have been a lush world, but I can't picture it as anything but a desert. Native sentient species have no records going back that far. That was hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands. Of course, the native species are not very willing to tell anyone anything. They're barely more than animals. The site is quite old. From the look of it, it's been settled before. Zerka Corporation claimed it only a few decades ago. Some other corporation that went under, probably. Not a lot of records are kept about backwater places like this. The Sand People. They're vicious and attack outsiders on sight. More animals than anything, really. Maybe they know the history of Tatooine. Maybe they don't. Impossible to tell. They won't cooperate. Not personally, but they've given Zerka Corporation a rough time. It's hard enough mining this rock without suffering random attacks. I think the company has even put a bounty on them, but I'm sure not going to try for it. The Jawas are scavengers, and a bit primitive. Hard to understand. They have an affinity for droids. Some of our scientists believe that they may not be native to the planet, but how they got here, they may not even know. As I said, they're hard to understand. They usually end up slaves to the Sand People. They aren't fighters. Good traders, though. I will answer as best I can. What will you need while on Tatooine? That's not much information. Could you tell me more? You a digger? I've heard of ruins being found now and then, but they've always been stripped by Sand People soon after. You're not going to get anywhere with them. I guess you could ask around, but I doubt you'll learn anything different. You could always ask a Jawa. It's hard to tell what they know. As you wish. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
Leave me be. If I don't get these converters working, I lose my job.
Papuilta. Kolotus Ivan Rebut. Ikelti Rimon. Uudasta sieltä. Uudsta kelkis. Kolotusta. Papuilta. Kolotus Ivan Rebut. Ikelti Rimon. Tustedan kelvää. Noi sidan kelvää. Tuntus lapsan nivu kelvää. Noi sidan kelvää. Inuva kelvää. Papuilta. Kolotus Ivan Rebut. Ikelti Rimon.
Laboda ni winkismak toma. Wana kunves jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Uba batu koji. Tong nongbong shang yung yang. Tong patok smak delia. Kuyabi jus puna jitanai. Ina kunba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Undi hatong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winkismak toma. Wana kunves jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes.
Can I help you? These are the offices of the Zerka Corporation. I trust you have business with the company. If this is about employment, I'm afraid all regular mining positions are full. And before you ask, we are also no longer selling hunting licenses. Griff? There's no Griff here. Never heard of him. No, I don't remember a single Griff on the Zerka Corporation payroll. Can you spare me a few moments? I have something I want to get off my chest. I want to tell you about one of our workers. His name was Griff. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew chief. Always complaining and faking injuries to get out of work. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Zerka Corporation supplies, although we could never prove it. We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him. He was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. There were prisoners taken, but our rescue parties never found anyone alive. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Zerka Corporation of liability in these circumstances. Zerka Corporation cares deeply for all of its employees. That's why we've started a bounty program to thin the Sand People numbers. We didn't find his body, so we have to assume he was taken prisoner. Whether he's still alive, I couldn't say. That's all I can tell you. I shouldn't even have said this much. This is all privileged corporate information. I could lose my job. As I said, all employees have signed waivers absolving Zerka Corporation of any financial liability if this occurs. It is the industry standard. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Zerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours only, please. Very well, though I do have work to get back to. Of course. Zerka Corporation records are available at our representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours, please. For your needs here, we maintain a fully stocked storehouse. Speak with Greta Holda about any purchases. Certainly. Please pose your questions to the representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours, please. I suppose you're right. It's not like you can't tell the state of things just by looking around. Mining operations here have not been a success. The ore is substandard, and there's less of it than surveys indicated. With the Sand People raids on top of it all, it's no wonder this planet has been abandoned before. No one knows. There are odd energy fluctuations on this planet, but they defy analysis or explanation. But the effect is obvious. Ore taken from Tatooine is useless for construction. It degrades incredibly fast. Word is getting out about it, too. We're running out of buyers. Zerka Corporation is not doing well here. The company would be foolish to stay. It will be costly, but in the end, leaving will be cheaper than staying. I imagine all the heavy equipment will be abandoned. It's not worth shipping out things like sandcrawlers. Maybe the Jawas will find a use for them when we're gone. That's a laugh. We can't ignore evidence that Anchorhead was settled more than once before, and abandoned each time. There's probably a century between each attempt, just long enough for records about why it failed to disappear. The Jawas scavenge ancient tech all the time. It's a remote world. Who knows what's here? Very well, though I do have work to get back to. I assume that by out of the ordinary you're referring to the destruction of Terrace? That is all anyone is talking about. I'm afraid Zerka Corporation is not offering any comment on those events. We wouldn't wish to anger the participants. Zerka Corporation policy is not subject to your approval. It is a sound business model. Save us your commentary. If you're looking for local events, I suggest you go to the Swoop Track, one of the few leisure industries on Tatooine. There was also a Jawa here earlier, saying something about needing help. I think he's out by the city gates. I can't be more specific about what he wanted. Our droid translators had difficulty with the message. Very well, though I do have work to get back to. As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is. We use them to ensure that only people judged fit by Zerka Corporation are allowed outside the city. We don't allow casual exploration because of legal concerns. Zerka Corporation takes no responsibility for loss of life on the dunes. It's just so we can keep track of people. No one leaves the city without a Zerka hunting license. With the downturn in mining, people want any chance at credits they can get. Most wouldn't survive a day, let alone qualify as hunters. The last license issued before the ban was given to a woman named Marlena Venn. She'll do fine. She had a mean streak a parsec wide. She also paid double. Exceptions like this are rare, unless it suits the company to offer them. Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting. The Sand People are becoming a problem. They destroy our sandcrawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains. Which would you rather have dumped on your office floor? Besides, they're ceremonial weapons, unique to each warrior. It's just as good. Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Zerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sandcrawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them. Very good. Zerka Corporation looks forward to your future business.
Achua pengti, yun patisa, dicuba jikota naga, kingu mua mulira dwana, kinba nikcha lora kun. Kakinja nawabagaon, bagwa shank konti machit Chiwi aita ka tong chicha, agi inko tune chuna muri ra, tangit wama jiko na, tong kipa nonku nek abog. Chiwa aita kang kicha na kupornibo, kun muri ra slimo poi wanga, tangit wama ji human act in ikatune. Kakinja nawabakaon, bagwa shank konti machit Ki mulira kun kin, tong hit wama akti inko tune. Kiwa aita kang kicha na kupornibo, kun mulira slimo poi wanga, tong hit wama ji human act in ikatune. Kiwa aita kang kicha na kupornibo, kun mulira slimo poi wanga, tang itwama ji human act in ikatune, chiwi aita ka tong chicha, agi inko tune chuna mulira, tang itwama ji kona, tong kipa nonku nek abog baba Hasan shan, no ba mulira jilai kuka. Kakinja nawabagaon, bagwa shank konti machit Kakinja nawabagaon, bagwa shank konti machit Chiwi aita ka tong chicha, agi inko tune chuna mulira, tangit wama jiko na, tong kipa nonku nek abog.
Hey there, what can I do for you? Talk! What is there to talk about? Those sand people took my brother prisoner. Griff may be a slime, but we have to go rescue him. We can't just leave him with those monsters. You heard the Zerka rep. The sand people sometimes take prisoners. Say what you want about Griff, but he's a survivor. I know he's still alive. I can't make you go after my brother, but you're the only one who can save him. Just think about it. That's all I ask. In the end, I know you'll do the right thing.
La boda ni winkis matoma. Wana kun bes jingpa marura. Tok jingbang non kit. Tok ninja mura rabes. Kuya bichus puna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Mundi hadong da chiko kapi. La boda ni winkis matoma. Wana kun bes jingpa marura. Tok jingbang non kit. Ninja mura rabes, kuya bichus puna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun, slimo patona. Mundi hadong da chiko kapi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadong da chikong kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wana kung bes chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tuk ninja mira rabes.
Something you want? I don't have a lot of time for talk, so please, make it quick. Is there some kind of problem? I'm just doing my job. I don't want any trouble from you. All right, but I'm not sure what I could say to interest you. I just work on the crawlers. I repair the sand crawlers when they return from the mines. They get pretty banged up, even without the attacks. Have you? Not many hunters have tried in the past. Good luck to you is all I can say. The sand people are vicious. I see the damage on the crawlers when they come back. If they come back. I have no idea. I don't go out on the desert if I can help it. I'm sure the sand people will find you if you walk far enough. Oh, the big crawlers head out at dawn. That's so they avoid the bigger predators. The raid, I mean, doesn't help avoid the sand people, though. They attack pretty regular, no matter what Zerka Corporation tries. Well, it's a hole in the galaxy as far as I'm concerned. I doubt this outpost will last much longer. But that's happened before and will happen again. Anchorhead has been resettled a few times now. Well, Tatooine fools people. It looks like it might have a good supply of resources, but it doesn't. Before a company learns this, they've already set up communities to support operations they now can't afford. Company pulls out, cities dry up, and after a few years, someone that doesn't know why it failed tries again. No one is. I guess it looked like a promising mining planet, but the metal, I tell you, just isn't right. I've been a mechanic my whole life. I've never seen anything corrode as fast as Tatooine metal. It's why whoever was here before left, and why Zerka will leave, and why whoever comes next will leave. All right then, back to work, I guess.